Hello. If I press the right button, we're all back online. Hello, how are you guys doing? Hope you guys are all keeping well. So, as per usual, I was waffling a little bit in the last session, so hopefully I'm starting this bang on time. I make it 16:41 at the moment. I can see we've got a couple of viewers on here. So, we'll just give everyone a couple of minutes to get logged on, to get signed in and everything. So, as always, if you've got any questions or even if you just want to say hi, feel free to drop that into the chat. Although, I'm not seeing any live chat stuff at the moment. That's interesting. Cool. So, if any of you guys have got a Google account or you're logged into a YouTube thing, it would be quite useful if you could just drop a hello into the comments. 'Cause from where I'm sitting, I'm not actually sure if the live chat is working. Let's have a quick look. Right. That may not be working. Hey ho. We will carry on. We will endeavour. So, we've got quite a lot of stuff to talk about in this session. So, across this grouping, we've got guys looking at song 7, guys looking at the start of song 8, and guys looking at the start of song 10 as well. All from the Blue Book. So, if you've got a book handy, it'd be worth turning to song 7 now. We'll be talking through a few bits of that. But just while we're giving it a few minutes for people to get logged on, I'm going to do my usual testing camera angles. So, here's my other camera angle. Or that's one of them at least. So hopefully you can see that. The observant guys might notice I've got a different drum kit this week. So, this should be exciting. Hopefully all that is working nicely. If there is any sound issues, I would say let me know. But if the live chat isn't working, then I don't know how you would let me know. Anyway, we'll crack on. So I'll just go quickly test this angle because this is always a fun one. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing around the kit in a slightly different way on this. So. So that's one of the things I like about this drum kit. I can actually get a proper bell sound on here. So for the guys that are doing a song 10, that'll be quite useful for that. It comes up in section C, I think it is. Anyway, we'll talk about that a little bit later. So, how are we doing for time? Right, we're a couple of minutes in, so hopefully all the people that are joining us have logged in already. I'll just put it back to this screen for a moment. I am very confused about that live chat thing. I'm just going to have to crack on with it and hope that this is working. So, right, song 7. Let's have a little think about song 7. So, a few of you guys would have gone through these bits already. For some of you guys, this is going to be a little bit newer. So, we'll talk through this in a couple of sections. What camera angle should we do? Let's do this one. Right, intro of song 7 sounds like this. So we're playing bass and snare and bass, bass, snare. We're playing it on the ride cymbal, and we've got a 2-beat fill at the end. So that 2-beat fill can be pretty much anything you like in there, as long as it fits into the 2 beats. So section A is when we get into the interesting stuff. Most of section A is actually a fairly simple groove. So the difficult part about section A is when we get the push in, this is going to be in the 7th bar leading into the 8th bar, which is the first time bar. I'm aware that I said bar quite a lot then. So we're looking at what's pretty much the penultimate bar of the section. We've got that crash at the end, and that leads us into the fill in the first time bar. First time bar being your first ending. So we have a little pause and then a little fill. And then we're going to repeat section A. So I'll play... so this will be the 7th bar of A, leading into the first time bar. And from there, we repeat section A. So we go through the whole thing again, and this time we're going to use the second ending, or second time bar. We've got a slightly bigger drum fill. Let me just pop that somewhere else because I need that, Tom. So, going from the bar before the second time bar, we get this. So, slightly bigger fill in the second time bar. So I'm just seeing how I'm doing for time. So what we should do, I think we should do some playthroughs of this. So very quick recaps on some of this stuff. At the end of the first line of section B, we've got a little push tucked in there. So that was the end of the first line of B. The end of the second line of B, we've got the slash notation. And whatever fill we're going to put in at the end of there. So that's crash, snare, crash, and random drum fill. So I think we should just have a playthrough of this. I'm just going to check back. I'm really confused about the comments on this. Okay, so I think maybe the best thing to do, if you do have any questions about any of this, or if I'm going over any of it too fast, I'd suggest maybe popping an email into the Music Works. If there's anything that you want me to address directly, then yeah, I can either do that in the next session, or I can customize some of the videos that are coming out this week. So, song 7. Let's see if I've got a backing track for this somewhere. Okay, so this is almost like a kind of roulette. I think I mentioned this last week. None of my backing tracks are actually labeled. They're just random numbers. So, right. Have I got the right one? My guess is this is number 20.
Song 7.
Yeah.
Infinity.
Okay. Starts like this. Okay, so we're in section A. Okay, coming up to that first push. So this is the repeat of section A. And we're in the 4th bar now. 5th. 6th. After this comes the push. So this is section B. Little push. And then slash notation coming up now. Sorry if you're getting a little bit of a rattle coming through the speakers there. I've got a dodgy cable somewhere. I will endeavour to fix that for next week. Otherwise, that's going to be bad for anyone wearing headphones, because that's going to crackle right into your ears. Cool, that's song 7. So I think that's as much as everyone would have kind of covered in song 7. The section C of song 7 is altogether not that exciting. I think we take almost everything that we need to know from the intro A and B. So for most of you guys, that's going to be as much as I want to cover on that one. I mean, part of the reason on that as well is song 8 is the exciting one. So some of you guys this week would have been looking at song 8. It's got a really nice groove in this. So what I should do, I'll just change the camera angle on this for a second so we can see what my hands are playing. Okay, cool. So the beat in song 8 starts on the right. It's going to sound like this. Oh, for anyone wanting a page reference, this is page 40 from the Blue Book. So I'm going to start on line 2. Line 1 is easy enough. You can spot that it's all Coca-Colas as a drum fill. So we've got 3 bars of rest into the Coca-Colas, and then we've got our groove. So something along those kind of lines. So the hand pattern for that, I'll do it over on the hi-hat because it might be a little bit easier to see. So it's right and both, right, left, right, both, right, left. So it's quite a lot to take in on that. So guys, looking at song 8, you would have had the introduction to this groove. We're referring to page 39 with a little fill. So yeah, we should have had a look at that groove already. And then we would have looked at section A from the song. Section A is a simplified version of that groove. It takes out a lot of those in-between or offbeat 16th snare drum patterns. So our pattern is simplified to this. So we've got that for 7 bars in total, and then we've got another little fill in there. So I think what I want to say about song 8 is, at the level for song 8, it's perfectly acceptable to pop in drum fills like Coca-Cola Coffee. But if we're thinking of this in kind of exam level, the examiners are going to be wanting to hear things like lemonades and blackberries, or even incorporating some bass drums into your fills as well. So a pattern like lemonade blackberry or blackberry lemonade is quite a nice one. So that was blackberry lemonade. The first one's up on the high tom, and the last one on the floor tom. I use that fill quite a lot. It's quite versatile. Cool. So there's a little bonus. Right. So I think what we'll do is we'll have a little playthrough of the first bit from song 8. I'm just popping back to see if the chat's gone live. Doesn't look like it has. So right, we'll just do a little bit of a playthrough of some of song 8. So let's give you a different camera angle for this. How about this one? Right. Right, song roulette again. Let's see if I get the right backing track.
Song 8. Hot Sauce.
Sounds like it's the right one. So remember, we're starting with rest in this track. 1 bar. 2. Little fill and then section A. Another little fill. So that's as far as some of you guys would have got in song 8. So yeah, we've got a bit of a mix in this group today. Some guys working on song 7, some on song 8, some on song 10, which is what we're going to go on to next. But I think it's worth you guys, if you've gone over some of these songs before, it's worth keeping them fresh, making sure that you can still play through them. Or if it's a song that you haven't come across yet, then yeah, you're getting a bit of a head start into how these songs will eventually sound. So, right, we really are pushed for time at the moment because there is a couple of bits that I wanted to talk about. So let's go into song 10. Song 10. Intro of song 10 is wicked. Crash, rest, random drum fill, crash, rest, another random drum fill, crash, rest, final fill. So, the guys working on song 10, you will have worked on that bit already. But just to break it down, it's crash, rest, random drum fill, crash, rest, another random drum fill, crash, rest, one more fill, then. So, the tough bit in this, so those guys looking at song 10, after you've done... So, after you've done that doom cha cha crash, we're not going to start the next line on the beat because we've got that tied note again. So, tied notes are coming up a lot at the moment. We've tied from the last crash of the first line into the first beat of line 1, which means we don't come in until the second bass drum that's written. And then we're into our groove. So, actually, for anyone that's not familiar with this song, we're going to come across that crash, snare, crash rhythm again that we came across in song 7. Right. I think best thing to do on this is have a little playthrough again. So, right, this is back to backing track roulette. Let's see if I get the right one.
Song 11. Song 10. Song 10. Red River.
I don't think I've got the metronome on this backing track, but we'll give it a go anyway. 1, 2, 3, here we go. Okay, slash notation. So it's quite a quick song, but actually that's a good point to bring up. It's a good point to bring up. If we were playing this as an 8th note groove, 120 odd BPM, we'd find. So what we're playing. Boom. Your right hand, if you were going to be playing 8th notes through the whole thing, it ends up being really quick. So this is quite a good little trick. To build up the speed of the drum beat by playing less. Play half as much on the hi-hat. So we're down to quarter notes. I mean, that's much faster than we need to do it in the song. But if you've got some good dexterity on your right foot, and on your left hand as well, you play less, but it gets even quicker. So that pulse is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. If you're trying to do that all with coffee, 8th notes on the right hand, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. It's doable, but it's hard. So this is quite an efficient way of playing. So that's a quick overview of song 10. There'll be more of that coming up in the next session, the next set of videos for you guys that have been working on song 10. So I think I need to round it off. Yeah. We've only got about a minute left. I would invite any final questions, but yeah, I'm aware that the chat doesn't seem to be working, or at least I'm not seeing the chat, so that's a bit of a fail. But yeah, cool. All right, final thought for today. This is something that I've mentioned to everyone in the previous sessions. Great question I had during the week. Why did you start playing drums, or why do you play drums? And I think that's something that I'd like you guys to think about during the week. Because even now I still had to think about my answer. Like, why did I do it to begin with? A, because it was fun, and B, because I liked exploring the drum kit. That was one of the real core things about it. I like exploring, going on adventures, and you can do that behind a drum kit. There's so many possibilities, so many things you can do with it. And also, yeah, just playing for fun, playing for enjoyment. I never felt like practice was a chore because I just enjoyed playing the drums, and that's how I learned everything that I know on the drums. So the reason that I ask you guys that same question is because it can shape the way that you approach practicing or playing drums. So if I asked you, why do you play drums, or what do you want to get from drums, and your answer is, I want to be the best drummer in the world, then I'll say, wicked, I hope you're practicing every single minute that you have available, because that's what will be required. If you want to be as good as you can possibly be, you've got to be quite regimented with your practice. But if your answer was, I want to play drums because I want to be in a band, I'll say, okay, well, your practice is maybe going to be less about playing by yourself, more about playing with other musicians. So maybe that's how you should think about practicing. And yes, depending on what you want from drums will dictate the way that you approach playing and practicing. So it's just something to think about throughout the week. Feel free to let me know, like, what do you want to get from drums? Why do you play? What do you want to get from it? And just have a bit of a think about it. I appreciate it's quite a heavy question, but yeah, just have a think about that during the week and think how that might apply to your practice and your playing. So I've been talking too much again, so I've overrun slightly. So what I'm going to need to do is round it off here. Guys, you're more than welcome to stick around for the next session. So the next guys, we're working on some pretty intense stuff with footwork, a couple of bits from song 11. If you are curious about that, more than welcome to stick around. If not, I'll say bye-bye for now. Thank you very much for joining me again. I really like doing these sessions. They're a lot of fun. And yeah, so stay safe, and we'll see you again next time.